Hello folks and welcome to the first video on the MMAPatter YouTube channel. So my name's Artem and I've got a wee website called MMAPatter.com. That's a wee blog that I do for MMA and boxing and things like that. And this is the first video that I've actually done for YouTube, but it's been the first video for my channel. So welcome. And I'm just gonna use this forum alongside the blog and just to break down some news, some fights, look to do some post-fight reviews, pre-fight reviews, and just kind of breaking stuff down, giving my opinions on the news in MMA, and then we'll see how it goes. So first thing I'm going to do is one of the stories that kind of broke yesterday. So one of the journalists for MMA, Ariel Helwani, put a wee tweet out, which is quite an innocuous tweet, but it got quite a response from the fighter that was about. So Ariel Helwani posted, UFC is losing patience with Nico Montao. As reported last week, the plan was for her to defend the 125-pound title against Valentina Shevchenko in Calgary, but they're having a hard time getting a commitment from her. While it's not scrapped, they are looking for other options. So something along those lines, and it's quite an innocuous tweet, nothing terribly exciting about it, just him doing his job. But Nico Montao, when she seen this, she put this on her Instagram and she took exception to that tweet. So I won't go into the full thing because it's quite a big paragraph, but it starts off, this just in, ... at Ariel Helwani is a huge waste of space. And it goes on in that kind of similar fashion, and at the end she says, PS at Ariel Helwani, you suck at your job. Delightful. So let's just kind of break this down. So firstly, I'll say this, I'm a big fan of Ariel Helwani. He's got a show on, I think, MMA fighting called the MMA Hour, and he breaks down fights, interviews pretty much everyone in the MMA world, asks appropriate questions and gives the fighters and whoever be the promoters a chance to get their point across, and is generally quite a good journalist. He's broke a lot of big stories, and he's been about for quite a long time, and he's famous. He's famous in the kind of MMA sphere, but I also think that he does his homework. So by putting tweets out like that and putting out news, he will get his sources and he will obviously check them before kind of doing things. At least that's what I think. That's my opinion. So what I think happened here is he generally did get a source in the UFC that did say that to him, but there might be a bit of, I wouldn't say collusion, but there might be a kind of a degree of the UFC wanting to give him almost like a false story. The UFC and Ariel don't have the best relationship. Amongst other things, he broke the story that Brock Lesnar would be headlining UFC 200 before the UFC announced it. So that kind of spoiled a bit of the party of the UFC 200, and he was subsequently declined his journalist license for UFC events, and it took quite a big backlash from the MMA community to reinstate him in his license, because we want to see him kind of interviewing the guys pre and post fight things. So I do believe Ariel had his own quote, and I do think everything that he did was above board without being a hater or anything like that. But Nico Montao took exception to this, even though it's a fairly mundane tweet. She went on a tirade. So two things there. So firstly, I didn't really know who Nico Montao was. Upon researching her, I realised that she is the champion in the women's flyweight division in the UFC, and in her own right, she's a really good athlete, really good fighter. She won the Ultimate Fighter to be crowned the 125-pound champion in the women's division, and she is, by all accounts, really good, and she's due to be fighting an equally very talented fighter in Valentina Shevchenko. And as a fighter, she has to defend herself in the ring, of course, but also outside the ring against mental warfare or anything like that, and she has to remain on focus, especially on the build-up to a fight. So her reaction is not unexpected, should we say, because she has to kind of be always seen to be tough. She has to be seen to defend herself, and she must have thought that Ariel was taking a dig at her, which is why she kind of got her back up and sent this massive paragraph out on her Instagram. So that being said, what's going to happen? So by the looks of it, she is still probably going to fight Valentina Shevchenko. She's had, by the looks of it, some kind of surgery, and then she'll get back into it. So that in itself is a good thing. We want to see champions fight. We don't want to see them on the shelf and just kind of like lying around basically. What we want is big fights, and this should be a big fight. We also want to see champions making a name for themselves, and this is actually quite a good way for her to do it. She is going up against one of the leading figures, independent figures in MMA, and doing this tweet, and it's good bit of publicity for her. And if done correctly after this, she could, bear in mind if she wins the fight, she can carry on that vein, being in the public eye and things, and kind of make a good name for herself. So she's not losing out of this, and neither is Ariel because he's always going to get haters from the job that he does. Like he might just rub people up the wrong way, and that's fine because that's part and parcel of the business. So out of this, even though it's a bit of publicity, almost a bit of a kind of a bit of to and fro, it's exciting because now we want to see the fight. Now I didn't realise this fight was going down before, but now I kind of want to see it because it might be as though the champion wants to prove everyone wrong, to be like, here, I can fight even post infection. I'm gonna beat this other lassie that's fighting me. So I'm going to be tuning into that, and I'd like to see Ariel's reaction after the fight if he gets to interview her or either fighter, just to see what happens, because you'll likely ask a wee question that will probably relate to this. But that's it there. So that's my wee analysis on this couple of wee tweets, and yeah, hope you liked it. I hope it's something that you kind of thought about or maybe not thought about. If there's anything that kind of the story evolves, or if there's anything you want to kind of comment to me about, yeah, kind of drop a wee comment or a wee message on the YouTube or through my blog www.mmapatter.com, or Twitter, Instagram at MMAPatter, so it's MMAPatter. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll be back next week, so I'll probably have a video up once a week, and if there's more news in the world of MMA, I'll have more videos up, just kind of analysing it and things. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and see you next time, folks.